Morning, everybody. I am on my way to work, and I have decided that from now on in the morning on this wonderful commute that I have, it's only like 25 minutes, it's really great. I am going to share some of my thoughts, not that anybody cares, but hey, you never know. I've been around the sun 46 times, and I'm active military, and I'm working on a transition plan in the next 2.5 to 3 years, give or take. I may stick around a little longer, who knows, but they only let you stay in so long, and you can only go so far, and I have a passion to do something else, and so I kind of want to talk about that, right? It's kind of funny because I'm a big fan of YouTube, right? And I'm trying to transition from being a guy that just uses it as entertainment and to watch and actually does something with it. But that's a challenge, right? Because there's millions of content creators out there, right? And then the space that I'm super interested in, which is guitar playing and like tinkering with guitars, gear demos, a little bit of dabbling in music production, that sort of thing. That's a huge space that's got a massive amount of people, right? Years ago in 2009, I kind of started dabbling a little bit in it, but then again, being active military, life kind of got in the way, and I kind of had more important things to worry about. And back then, it was looked at as like a hobby thing, right? Like now, you see people who are like, ooh, content creation is the new 9 to 5. And I actually believe that in a lot of ways. I think that like branding yourself and showing the world what you have to offer and like being vulnerable and genuine, sharing your struggles and your thoughts, I think that can be very beneficial for a lot of people. But, you know, it's also kind of like the NBA, right? I think it was Charles Barkley that said that like there's, all these kids are trying to be in the NBA and there's only like 440, NBA players or whatever. So that's a huge challenge or a huge risk, right? I'm not saying that to discourage anybody. If you want to be in the NBA, like you should go all in and try for it. But, I have this fascination right now with people who are like, I'm going to do this, and then they just lay out a plan and they go do it, right? Especially if those people are young, right? Because when I was a high school kid in the late 1900s, shall we say, I didn't have that drive or that direction, right? Like I kind of just bopped along. Like I was super into music, right? Got a guitar from my grandmother's neighbor at a garage sale when I was like 12, and I was hooked. But back then, and I grew up in Mississippi, nobody was running around going, hey, I want to be a rock star, or like, hey, I want to be a songwriter, or hey, I want to be a content creator, right? Like it was more about like, you need to go to high school, get good grades, and so you can get into college and get a good job, right? And I just didn't know how to do that, right? I was not into school like whatsoever. I didn't see the benefits of it. And so, and it wasn't like I wasn't put into a good environment. I had parents that loved me, and, I went to a private school. My parents paid my tuition. So like granted, I didn't grow up like, in a super wealthy family, but like we weren't like destitute. So I had a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't have, and we can do a whole nother video about like the regret of being in your late 40s and realizing that you should have done better at a younger age. But that's all water under the bridge, so I don't want this to turn into some like, bitch and moan session about my past or whatever, because I've had a great life. Like God has blessed me like immeasurably. I've got a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter. I've never missed a promotion while in the military. I started as an enlisted guy, was fortunate enough to be able to go officer. So I've been blessed beyond measure, but I still have a desire to do something completely different. And there's people around me that would probably think that's stupid. I'm fortunate that my wife is sort of buying into what I'm trying to do, but at the same time, it's scary because I make great money right now being in the military, and I'm gonna have a pension, so it's not like I'm gonna be destitute, but it's just it's kind of scary in some ways. And I know there's some people that are gonna say, oh well, that's rich because so and so drove to Nashville and lived in a van, and basically ate free food and dumpster dove to like make it, right? And I'm not taking away from anybody else's struggles. I'm just trying to share my own headspace and thought process. But don't take any of this as like I'm bitching and moaning about my life, because my life is fabulous. Like I have a great life. Like I said, I'm blessed beyond measure. If you look at what's going on in the world right now with the folks in North Carolina and in Western North Carolina. I actually live in Eastern North Carolina on the Crystal Coast. But yeah, out in Western North Carolina, I mean, those people's entire lives are like destroyed. Like whole towns and cities are just gone, right? So when you I guess what I'm trying to say in that regard is that when you start to think that your life is terrible and that like you're not getting a fair shake, like I think it's important for us as human beings to kind of like get out of our own, like stop having your world end at the tip of your own nose and take a step back, and through gratitude and thoughtfulness you can kind of look around and realize that there's people that have it worse to you. And again, that's not to take away from anybody's struggles. It's just to say that, in this day and age of like instant information and instant gratification, I think a lot of times we get super mad when somebody else has something that we want or is doing something that we want to do. And rather than trying to unpack that and be like, wow, that's so cool that you did that, we get like jealous and we hate on them, and we're like, oh, well, you have a silver spoon, or you had this advantage that I didn't have. And anyway, I got on a huge rant and didn't mean to, but I guess my point is that, what does success look like for me? What does success look like for you? And then what do you do about it, right? In my life right now, I'm trying to plan a transition, right? But not make it that I'm, I want to obsess about it and I want to be laser focused, because when I was younger, I wasn't able to do that. And I'm still not, ADD, whatever you want to call it, right? But I am trying to, like, at work, when I'm at work, I'm trying to be laser focused about that job and prioritize and do what I'm supposed to do for that, because I'm committed to that. And I owe that to my organization, because that's what I signed up for. But when I'm home, I'm trying to compartmentalize my time into family time and being dedicated to that, being a great husband and a great father. And then when it's time to like shut everything off and try to write a video script, or work on creating a website, or work on creating a logo, or work on writing a song, or trying to produce music, even if it's only for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, I'm trying to focus on that, right? And it's difficult, right? But that's where you got to get. If you want something, you got to make a map of how to get there, right? And it's not all you. I mean, I believe I'm a person of faith, even though sometimes you're going to hear me cuss and spit and rant, and you may see a video of me drinking a bourbon every once in a while or whatever. But I do believe that God gives us talents, and you should try to figure out what those talents are, and you should use those talents, to do something, right? To help somebody, to, not only enrich your own life, but enrich other people's lives, right? I spent a lot of my life being really selfish. So I'm also at a red light right now, and I think people are probably going to think I'm crazy because I got a camera going and I'm talking to myself in my car, but I don't care. Maybe they'll just think I'm on the phone with somebody. This is fine, whatever. Side note, squirrel, ADD. It's also come to my attention in the 20-something videos I have on my YouTube channel that I have awful facial expressions. And I don't do thumbnails. Actually, to be honest with you, most of my videos, the thumbnail that's there is just whatever it landed on. So that's a problem that I have to work on, because through my research about how to get better at this stuff, it came to my attention that thumbnails are a thing and they're important. So, you know, be yourself, but work on your goofy facial expressions. That's for me, not you guys. But anyway, I just want to put myself out there and try to like share thoughts and opinions. This is kind of going to be like a daily driver series, like a vlog or whatever. I'm going to try to use an AI transcriber or something, or I'll just watch the video again and try to write down what I said or whatever. But I don't know. My channel's called Guitar Rants and Stuff, so I guess this is a rant and stuff. It's not necessarily going to be about guitars. I mean, we may talk about that. We may talk about amps. I'm obsessed with all that stuff. I think it's so cool. Like, we are in like the golden age, because like not only are there all this vintage fabulous analog gear out there, but there's all these modelers and things that like get really close to the real thing. But anyway, again, I'm all over the place, but hopefully everybody's doing well, they're having a good day, and they're trying to be nice to people, you know, and trying to get out there and get after it in whatever your endeavors are. But yeah, you should definitely try your best to be nice, try your best to be loving. You know, I'm not trying to mean that in a hokey way, like don't take people's crap, stand up for yourself, but figure out what you're good at, and if you can't do it for a living, that's okay, just do it. So, and with that, I'm getting into the part of town where I really have to pay attention so I don't kill myself or somebody else. So everybody have a fabulous day. I'm out.